Hello, welcome to the third video on the first day. So here we are going to see why do we like some food so dearly. You might have observed when you eat outside, mostly you like the foods that are deep fried like chips or burgers, some savories, some mixtures or even biscuits, cookies and all this. Have you ever wondered what is that ingredient in the food that makes you addictive to those foods?
So there are three things that are available in most of the food that is produced outside. They are fat, salt and sugar. Okay, so depending on whatever is the type of the food that is being made, these things are added, or these things are designed in such a way that they are excess in quantity. If you would observe that the French fries are little more salty than the normal food that is available, so that makes it more addictive. Okay, we are going to be talking more about this. And essentially there are four tastes, as we all know. The tastes are sour, sweet, bitter and salty. So these tastes have been known to us for very long time, right? And I also remember that during our childhood we used to think that these four tastes are placed at different zones on the tongue, on human tongue. We were thinking that the sour taste is placed only in one particular area and things like that, but we were proven wrong because the zones are spread all over the tongue. Okay, that is number one. Number two, it is also true that certain taste zones are more in certain areas, such as the bitter taste. If you see over here, it is concentrated more on the rear side of the tongue. That is because whenever a human being eats something which is bitter, it is also likely to be poisonous. Okay, so if at all that taste is sensed by those taste buds, then readily he can spit it out. He would be saved from swallowing that. So that is why this creation has made it like that. It is such an amazing thing, right? So apart from these four tastes, there was a fifth flavor. The taste was discovered by a scientist called Kikune Ikeda in Japan way back in 1908. So when he conducted series of experiments on something known as kombu, it's an algae, it's a seaweed, and Japan is known to use these dry version of kombu, and he boiled them again and again and then fermented and then brought it in a crystalline form. So you can watch a beautiful video on this, which we are going to give the link for. So something very unique, special taste that he found out, which was apart from all these four tastes, and he named it as umami. It is also known as deliciousness. It is something that you always miss in the food that is generally available, right? So the basic objective of developing this taste was, way back when he quoted that, to enhance the nourishment in Japanese people by providing that, and by making people have more and more food and nourish their bodies. That was the idea. But then later on it became a big industry called MSG, monosodium glutamate, so which we will be talking about here. The umami taste is present in various food naturally available, just that the amount of that may vary, such as in soya it is available. The soya sauce is more tasty than any other thing, right? And it is also available in mushroom, tomatoes, then it is available in kombu, as I said, it's an algae, then parmesan cheese. These things are naturally known to have the glutamic acid. So the glutamic acid is what is going to be used as umami taste. Now that glutamic acid is produced also using the sugarcane or tapioca. Then when they ferment it, they come up with this crystalline format called MSG. Ajinomoto is the brand name. So this is what is widely used in all the food that we have named. You may find that the Chinese food, especially the Manchurian or any other kind, the noodles and all that, right, they are known to have. Even our own Indian Maggi noodles was found to be having MSG at one point in time, and it had to face the wrath of the people that why it is. Now, why MSG is bad for health is a debatable issue, because we are not going to take any side here whether MSG is good or bad. Definitely we don't use MSG in our food because we don't consider that as food. But there have been instances that the MSG has given some side effects to the people, such as headache and multiple health disorders. And we do not consider that as a food itself, although it has been claimed to have been derived out of the food, but we don't consider that. So when we can make the food tastier, why do we have to use some external taste enhancer? That is our contention basically.
Then why do teenagers like junk food? There is a strong reason behind it. See, a part of the brain called prefrontal cortex. What's the main function of this? Decision making and self-control. But the thing is, it develops fully at the age of 20. So naturally, teenagers are irrational and impulsive because this part of the brain is not fully developed for them. And that's why they cannot stop the urge to eat junk food. So it's not their fault.
So it is not your fault at all to crave for the junk food or crave for something which is addictive because of this particular prefrontal cortex.
It's just that the changes that are happening in your body.
Yes. And let us now know dopamine effect. Okay, dopamine is basically a chemical messenger. It is also called as happy hormone or feel good hormone. Now it happens inside the brain because of certain chemical changes, and there could be so many reasons for the dopamine effect. All right, so it could be something that you are expecting a result of your exam, and then you know that you are going to pass with flying colors, or somebody is going to visit you, or something good is going to happen, or for some reason you are happy. Now you are happy because of the dopamine presence in the mind. Okay, now this is also possible with the help of some great food, that whenever you think of food, or just by the imagination of the food itself, the dopamine is present in the mind, in the brain, that is serotonin is secreted, and likewise there are so much of chemical reaction takes place inside the brain which will result in you being happy, right? So this is basically responsible for motivation, arousal, reinforcement and reward through multiple signaling cascades. Now what we mean by reward is, just to give you an idea, if you want to travel to a relative's place or a hill station for vacation, for example, just at the thought of you going there itself is more exciting, it's more rewarding than actually going there. Now that is what is called as dopamine effect, because you feel that there is something good is going to happen. So a lot of the sensory organs behave in that direction, that they will make you feel happy. Okay, so in the food this is very much there. There are certain chemicals which will induce this dopamine effect. The junk food reduces dopamine in a long run, but then the thought of having that food, the savory sensation in your tongue, that itself will produce that. Okay, so food that enhance the dopamine is spinach, avocado, pumpkin, eggs, green tea, apple cider vinegar, almond, watermelon. Various stuff are there which are like naturally they will enhance the dopamine even for longer run. Junk food, temporarily you may feel that there is an enhancement of the dopamine, but then it is not actually, because it is in the longer run it is going to kill that effect. So that is what one needs to know here. Now let us see this the factors that are influencing our food choices. What are the various factors? There are much more than what is listed here, but then we will address a few over here. First is the taste. Now you would have tasted something already, and just by your memory and just by your visual effect, like when you see the same stuff over there, you will recall the taste, and that will influence you to have it again and again. And the second one is convenience. So when the food is made very conveniently available by virtue of like handling it, tasting it, wrapping it, or whichever way you think of, the quick way,
you can just grab it and go.
So then, it will become an influencing factor.
Then the next factor is cost. So when the things, food items are available at a reasonable price, we naturally will buy it, like the burgers or the KFC, for example. So everything is available at a very reasonable price. And also if it's expensive, we don't mind spending because we want to just show it off.
It becomes a symbol of prestige.
Prestige, correct.
Yeah. And it is also coupled with the advertisements, because sometimes they say that the burger is available for 59 rupees only, and we think that the burger has to be so expensive, but it is available such a cheap price. So that becomes an influencing factor. And at the same time, having food in a 5-star hotel becomes a symbol of prestige, as I said, sometimes. So those are the influencing factors.
Even the pictures that we see, that attracts us to have those food.
When the film stars endorse, when the cricket stars endorse those things, that will become an influencing
factor.
Even
as simple as the pamphlet that we get in the newspaper, we are attracted towards the food.
Yes. And easy availability, what is more easily available, we tend to eat that only more. For example, the white rice that is widely available, but if somebody asks us to eat the brown rice, we will not be that inclined towards it, only because it is not available that widely. If we happen to see brown rice more than the white rice, probably we'll start eating brown rice more. So at times it is like go wrong with the mass than be right alone syndrome, it is called as. So you don't know whether it is right or wrong, but you just think that it is right only because majority of the people follows that. So this brings to the end of this video, and this completes the first day also. We will be jumping into our exercise video soon after this.